walking along.
So both sides here are the same hall.
Oh yeah, these are all just partitions.
So there's a partition wall down the middle.
I've said this to the boys because it's confusing. Just rip everything down so we can see woods for the trees.
Well,
because it is, I'm in here so often, it's just second nature now to me. But
oh right,
it is confusing.
Isn't this nice? Yeah.
So the best thing to do is just think about it as two big boxes.
So this is actually the upper level here.
We're right up and now in the top of the church.
Right.
Hall.
Okay.
And each floor below us is completely false.
And so this is the second building, if you like, because we stood out. I recognise the windows.
Yeah.
We stood out
on the garden. Yeah.
On the garden.
Yeah.
And so the building we looked at, we stood in that yard down there.
Well, if you stood in that yard down there, there's a steel door, big huge steel door down there that is the egress into that yard.
Right, well I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
And neither were they, because we got talking to some people, because we stood...
Well, they wouldn't have a clue.
They wouldn't. No. We stood over there and we thought it was a building on the left.
Well, it's both.
But it's actually both buildings.
It's both. That one, the windows are all blocked up.
Yeah, that's right, they are.
And they are beautiful windows, I'm sure.
Yes.
But yeah, you're looking at both. Yeah. That is the best place to get a perspective of it.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that there's a huge drop in levels between here and there, because this building was built on the moat of the castle. So we're higher up here than they are down there. It's quite dramatic.
Oh, was the moat higher?
The moat got built up over the years outside the castle walls.
Ah, right, okay, right. Yes.
And this was built on it, so there is
so the castle wall is here somewhere?
Well, the castle wall, yeah.
I would have been there somewhere.
Yes, around here.
So there are two entrances and three egresses.
No, one egress. One egress.
Well, so I mean the entrances are also egresses, obviously, plus the one downstairs.
Yes.
So there's two entrances plus one.
Yeah.
So what was this?
That's only an emergency.
So this is the insurance. This is the insurance.
This is where Ben McCarthy's office was. Yeah.
And you've
that's the window.
And so this floor area here is about 240 square meters is what
There's 22,000 square feet of net usable space in it, but it's kind of erroneous to talk about that because it's all these different levels, and eventually you are probably going to rip them out and do it again.
Yes.
And you put in different levels in a different way. But the best thing is to talk about site coverage, and I would say that there's site coverage of about 12,000 square feet, somewhere in that region between both.
Right.
But there is 22,000.
But then you have different levels as well, obviously on that.
And it depends on how you measure it. They had planning for a 22-bedroom hotel, and that's where your starting point is from a planning. So that is precedent planning, even though it has lapsed. They had it.
So why did they decide not to do it?
I would say they got completely browned off having archaeologists here for over a year, and I'd say they probably looked at the figures and they looked at the hassle. What they really were interested in buying this was a disco, because that's their business.
The nightclub owners, that's right.
Nightclub.
Yeah.
They wanted to put a nightclub in here, but they ran into hassle with Hugh Wallace, the architect who lived in an apartment adjoining here. He objected to everything. He gave them a rate of pain and cost them money. And I would say to themselves, they said to themselves, okay, we could spend 3 or 4 million fitting this place out.
Yeah.
And then the next thing we won't be able to trade because of all
problems
the noise and people objecting. So I'd say they just said, shite, we're not doing it. And as the boys would say to me, Morris would say to me, he says, there's easier ways of making money.
Well, that's...
and that's what his attitude is.
So the entrance over there is the entrance of, I thought it was George's Court.
Yeah, you're looking at it. It's narrower than the other one, but it is open to the elements, which is better, and there isn't a flying freehold in that entrance.
Yes.
And this is the Sarkistry building here, as I refer to it as. That's the building here with the ripped out fireplaces. That's a nice building.
It is a nice building,
yeah. It's got a nice red brick facade on it.
Yeah.
But as you say, it's hard to see it, and I can't get you into that yard because it's a great big hole.
It's fine. I don't need to get into the yard. So, what about outside areas then? There are some outside areas.
Very limited outside areas. If you go back here to this window, the dressing rooms would form an outside area at the back if you knock them down. But we're nearly up against the boundary, and there is very little there. But they are rubbish buildings, they're just flat roof structures.
Yeah, and that's called the dressing room, is it?
The dressing rooms. I could stand there. All those are the dressing rooms.
So and
knock them down.
So we haven't actually been into that yet.
Oh, no, we haven't.
No, because I noticed that building with it, which is a newer roof as well.
Well, that is our building.
It is, yeah, that's right.
It's just, it's an extension. So underneath that there is yard space getting rid of.
So there is a fire escape, for instance, here as well.
It's in that wall. It's actually
I've never actually seen it open, but it's in that wall.
This is the egress.
Yeah,
Yeah.
double
Double steel
Sorry,
doors.